homie.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
Orange mocha frappuccino! Killing me won't bring back your goddamn honey!
What a story, Mark.
One of the things I wanted to talk about was like how old were we when we got our first job? I was 14, and that's pretty early because usually around here you have to be 16. I don't know what the law is for other states for sure, but in Ohio it was 16. You could just go anywhere and apply for a job, unless they wanted you to be 18 or over for the job. But in my case, I had to go to the principal at my school, at middle school, and get a work permit, which meant that I had to have good grades, good attendance, and the principal would sign something that meant that at age 14 I could get a job somewhere. So my first job was working as a custodian at a truck parts warehouse because my dad worked there, and he talked to his boss and was like, hey, my son would like some extra money. I know you're looking for a custodian. He's only 14. He'll clean the place well, blah, blah, blah. So that was literally probably the hardest job of my whole life.
Well, why is that?
Well, first, it was my first job, so obviously there's like a realization, like you're getting smacked in the face with, oh, this is life. You work really hard for money.
Yeah,
basically. Like,
clean the shitter, boy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was terrible because I was the only custodian, and it was a giant truck parts warehouse. So there was oil and grease and dust and just filth over the floors and the walls, and it was like it had caked onto the walls so much that I'm pretty sure the owners of this facility just assumed that was the decor.
That's the paint scheme.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I remember one day, I think I worked 5 or 6 hours a day because it was super part-time. There was like a limitation to how much a 14-year-old could actually, how many hours a 14-year-old could actually work. And I remember I spent an entire day on just one room of shelving and parts, and I cleaned half of it in a day.
And what did you learn from this?
I learned that money doesn't come by easy. I learned that when life hits you down, you just gotta keep getting back up, and you gotta roll with the punches.
It's about you get, it's about you can get. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So it really taught you. I should probably make YouTube videos for a career one day.
Yeah. At age 14, I was like, whenever YouTube gets invented, that's what I should look into.
That's what I always thought too.
Every single day that I worked there, I had to get a new change of clothes.
Oh,
because they didn't even provide me with a uniform.
You're just coming in there in your graphic tees and your jeans and just...
I had my old T-shirts and my jeans, and I would leave, and there would be oil stains on my pants and stuff, and it would be like a new change of clothes. And I got paid minimum wage, which at the time was $5.15 an hour.
I remember those days.
Yeah, and so basically I went in there, worked for 5 hours, got $25, and then with that $25, bought a new pair of clothes to wear next time.
So you could come back and just grease them up.
Yeah. So that was my first job. What was your first job?
I've had a multitude of jobs.
Me too. I want to talk about my other jobs too.
Okay.
But like, tell me your first job.
Well, my first job was probably the worst job you could ever wish on anyone. I worked at a nursing home, but I worked in the dishwashing room of a kitchen of a nursing home.
I did not know this.
Really? It's something I tuck way deep down inside. Old people like to eat soft food, but when they eat, they leave a lot of residue on the plate.
Oh, no.
Amongst other things. And I remember washing the dishes, and I wasn't very good at it either. A lot of complaints about how I left oatmeal or applesauce. Once again, they eat soft things.
Yeah, right.
They don't chew, they just swallow. We're old. So yeah, I remember doing that for about 3 months, and then I didn't quit, I just stopped going. So I think I got fired somewhere in there.
Oh, okay.
So
you think you got fired?
You know what it was? Here's how pathetic I am. This is 2004 or 5. maybe 3. I don't remember. I remember School of Rock starring Jack Black was coming out at midnight on a Thursday. I blew off work so I could go watch that movie.
Amazing.
And I think I got fired because of School of Rock.
Amazing.
So there, yeah.
At least it was a good movie.
Well, it was it? Yeah, it is.
I like School of Rock.
It was one of Jack Black's better movies. I will say that.
I like School of Rock.
Yeah, so that was
That's
my
interesting.
first-
Did you ever find any dentures on the plates?
You know, I got to the point where I just stopped cleaning them. And kind of just threw them in a dishwasher and didn't look back.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, those are some crappy first jobs. After the truck parts warehouse, I progressed on to a fantastic 5-star restaurant known as Taco Bell.
Oh, yeah. Chalupas.
Yeah, and it was a Taco Bell Pizza Hut combination.
Oh, wow.
Back when those
Classic.
used to exist around here. So I did both. I would make tacos and I would make pizza. Primarily, though, I made pizza at Pizza Hut, the Pizza Hut side of it. And I still have terrible memories of my horrifically awful manager who was definitely not suited for the position. I guess as soon as I came in, the previous manager had quit, and basically his runner-up took over the job.
Was it some kid? Or?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He was young. He was only a couple years older than me. It was horrible.
Did you ever make tacos at the Taco Bell?
Yeah, a little bit. It was mostly the pepperoni pizzas, but yeah, I would make tacos from time to time. That was just a seasonal job during the summer, before while school was out.
Yeah.
Awful job. Again, obviously minimum wage, no respect. You got free Taco Bell every day, I guess, was something. But I mean, even that just means I'm going to be on the shitter all night.
Yeah. The question is, would you rather have free Taco Bell or free Pizza Hut? That's the question here.
That is a big moral dilemma, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the conflict in this story.
I think it depends on what mood I was in, how much shitting I wanted to do that night, or how much less shitting I wanted to do. That was my second job. Do you remember yours?
Oh yeah, okay. So I actually was an Upper Bay technician at Jiffy Lube. And if you went to Jiffy Lube in around 2006, I probably fucked up your car. It was awful. We weren't trained. My friend actually worked as a Lower Bay technician, so he would drain the oil. I remember the first day I was there, my friend didn't know what he was doing. I didn't know what I was doing. He actually drained the transmission fluid instead of the oil, and we overfilled the oil. So this car left with no transmission fluid and 10 quarts of oil. So I worked there for a few months. We broke a lot of things accidentally, and I now know how to change my oil, though. So
that's good.
Yeah.
Well, after Taco Bell, I progressed on to a very well-known American establishment called Walmart.
Ooh.
And I worked at Walmart.
I think it's just getting worse and worse.
It is getting worse.
You're supposed to go up.
I know. I'm still a teenager, and Walmart was possibly worse than Taco Bell because the store supervisor who worked there, he was the biggest asshole ever.
Why is that?
He would discipline employees in public in front of the customers. Like if they messed up anything, he would very loudly scold you in front of customers.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there was this, it was my second or third day on the job and I stocked something improperly. I did not know how to do it perfectly. I was learning. And he took me aside in front of customers and quite literally wagged his finger in my face. Telling me everything I did wrong. And I remember I only stayed there for a couple more weeks after that because I couldn't deal with his pressure.
Yeah. What did you do specifically? Stocked?
I think I stocked something at the wrong place.
Okay.
So the item was in the wrong location.
How dare you, Chris?
I know.
You're not Walmart material. Get the fuck out. And
I really am not. I really am not Walmart material.
Wow.
According to that guy, that's for sure. Didn't stay there very long. I gave him a 2-week notice and everything, and I was like, I can't be here, blah, blah. But after that, I worked at a supermarket called Mark's that's around here, and I was a cashier and a stock guy. I've always, throughout all my teenage years, I've done all the grind. I've done the fast food, I've done the cashier, I've done the retail.
Sure.
And I had enough of those experiences to know I don't want to do that for the rest of my life.
Right back at you. Yeah, I understand. I worked at Hollister, the clothing store in the mall, for about 2 months once. And I had to wear jeans and polos, and they wanted me to go tanning. And flip-flops, and I remember just standing around folding clothes all day, and they wanted me to do inventory and count all the clothes. And, you know, I'm not a mathematician, Chris. So I just started making up numbers. And I figured it would even itself out. And then when I was about 2,000 off, they came over and fired me on the spot.
2,000 off?
Yeah, like women's crop tops. I don't know what I was doing, but I got fired from there, too.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
My first, I worked at McDonald's also after Mark's.
Whoa, just a slew, man.
Yeah, I worked at McDonald's third shift. It was a 24-hour McDonald's, and all I did all night was make hundreds of thousands of breakfast burritos to stock them in the fridge so that they could heat them up in the morning. And I cleaned the fry machine every night.
Wow.
Which made me not eat French fries for like a year.
It just disgusted you that much?
The grease and the fucking stains. Oh my god, it was atrocious. I still have the smell in my in my brain of like the scent of the McDonald's sink. The water and the sludge and the soap combined with fry grease and burger grease. Yeah. It turned me off of any type of food like that for a very long time.
Really? Haunt your dreams, huh?
Oh, it does.
I delivered pizzas for 4 or 5 years of my life.
I think that's when we met.
Yeah, we did. Yes, it was magical. Yeah, so
you brought a pizza to my door.
Yes,
I invited you in.
The wind blew in. 2 birds flew in after me, and no, Pizza Hut and Papa John's. But I will say this: delivering pizzas is the most enjoyable therapeutic job I ever had.
You can have privacy.
You get in your car, you listen to music. If you want to steal a pizza from the store, you put it in your car, eat it on the way, you can do that. You know, you got good tunes playing. It's just a good time. You get up there, you deliver the pizza, and you just get back in your car and you go back. It was so good.
Yeah, that sounds fun. That's definitely better.
You want to pull over and take a nap.
Pull over, take a nap.
That's your choice.
All their pizzas are getting cold. Who cares?
Well, yeah, you know, the people who don't tip, you kind of just put them on the bottom and
exactly.
Yeah, steal a pepperoni off of it or two and have a little snack.
Have a snack. You get a call. Excuse me, my pizza has a bite taken out of it.
Yeah, I almost died a few times though.
Really?
Yeah, there was one time I went to a crackhead meth motel.
Oh my god!
And the lady answered the door, and I just knew it wasn't going to be good. And she started like crying. She had like meth sores all over her face.
Oh shit!
And she was like, "Come in, my baby's getting cold. My baby's getting cold.
My baby's getting cold."
There was no baby, and I took a step into the room, and I looked through the crack of the door. There's a big dude behind the door, like waiting for me to walk in.
Oh my god!
And I just turned around and I was like, I'm good. And then it's kind of a dangerous job, but I liked the thrill of it.
I now want to make that scene in a movie.
Yeah,
the pizza guy who realizes there's some big ass dude right behind the door is about to fucking kill him.
Yeah, that could I want that movie to be made. Like make Nightcrawler meets pizza delivery. Yeah, that's what I need.
The sociopathic pizza delivery man.
I'll do it. Yeah,
you'll be good at it too. My first real job, I guess you could say, like that actually felt like it could lead somewhere. I was working for Akron Public Schools for 2 years. This was after McDonald's, and I worked on buses with kids who were like in the orthopedic route. They had some sort of physical disability or a mental disability of some kind, and they needed basically like a helper person where if something happened, I could immediately attend to it. Like sometimes a child would throw up, or they might, go to the bathroom, and so that aspect wasn't fun. Like the cleaning up parts, that was not the best part. But a lot of those kids really were actually really fucking cool. Like they actually really liked me and wanted to have conversations, and I felt like I was actually doing something good. Like I was making them happy.
Opens up your eyes a little bit.
It does.
Yeah.
And I made them smile before they went to school because I'm sure school was not fun for them.
Sure, yeah.
And so it felt like that. I did that for 2 years, and that was not much money at all. I think it was like $8 an hour, but it was better than McDonald's, that's for sure. So, and then my last job before I finally said, screw this, I'm going to do this movie thing full time. I sold newspapers.
Wow.
I was a newspaper salesman.
Like telemarketing?
No,
door to door.
I was the guy when you go to a mall or to a store and there's somebody standing there behind a newspaper counter like literally trying to solicit every customer for a newspaper subscription.
Newspapers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
was horrible because
Wow.
it was entirely commission. So there was one day where I worked for 8 hours.
Newspapers don't cost too much.
They don't.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you got subscriptions signed up,
okay.
then you got money. There was one day where I worked for 8 hours and I made $200 and it was great.
Great. Yeah.
I made all these subscriptions. I was on fire. People were ordering newspaper subscriptions, not just Sunday delivery. They wanted 7-day delivery.
And you did it.
And I fucking got those people to sign up for the Akron Beacon Journal, goddammit. But then there was a day where I worked for almost 10 hours and made $20.
Wow.
And I said that very day, I went, never again. I'm never
Wow.
doing this again. And that's when I decided to do the movie thing full time.
Okay.
And I was 24. So
Yeah.
I basically, from age 14 to 24, for a decade really, I worked regular jobs and tried to figure out what I wanted to do. I always knew I wanted to be involved in movies, but until YouTube kind of came around and gave you sort of an outlet for like the normal everyday guy from Ohio, or in your case, Indiana, to put your voice out there, the entertainment world was like this impenetrable thing. Like, how do I do that? You have to just be like, it has to be magic. You have to be in LA and bump into somebody and then suddenly you're a person. And now it's different. Like, you can, if you make good stuff and put it out, you can actually get noticed.
No, yeah, I agree. I always thought public access videos were the future in high school. I was like, that's how I'm going to get known. Yeah.
PBS with John Flickinger.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a few other jobs real quick. I worked at a call center for a cell phone company. I worked at a marketing company in a cubicle all day. And I remember at that job, I used to look out the window and watch the guy mow the grass and think I would give anything to be that guy right now.
Because you're not in a cubicle.
Yeah, exactly. I was also an usher at a movie theater. And if that job would pay really good, I would do that every day because it's you get to go clean the theater, and sometimes I would go watch. I remember watching Avatar like 2 times in one day, and I'd hear the walkie-talkie, John, popcorn spill in the aisle. Oh yeah, I'll be right there. And I'm like watching Jake Sully climb the tree of life and make love to an alien woman. That was a fun job. But yeah, right back at you. I remember doing YouTube part-time or kind of just for fun during that time of my life. And then one day, it kind of took off. But good times, yeah.
Definitely.